Quick hide, and Gorgio's here. Quick, everybody, shh, hide. He says he showed up extra early, and uh-oh, we got a blinker up there. There it goes. There it goes. What's up, Twitch land? Welcome to Drake Takes. It is Saturday. No, it's Friday night, and we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. We are in Empire of the Ghouls, and it's April 2nd. So if you didn't have a joke played on you yet, tonight you can buy Clyde for free. Nope, psych. April Fools. You gotta pay for it, like on Gorgio. And our DM tonight is Matakuri, so he's gonna run this show, and he's gonna take over right now.
All right. So, welcome everybody to session 13 of Empire of the Ghouls. Let's do some quick character introductions. We'll go in reverse order on my list. So, we'll start off with the unnamed. Tell us a little bit about who you're playing.
So the unnamed grew up in the temple after a debilitating disease took away most of his strength and found out that he was gifted with the ability to foretell the future. And so the unnamed is actually the title that is given to that job, to that billet within the temple. He decided to head out on his own and has learned since traveling with this lovely group of adventurers that he's actually really good at fighting and he really enjoys it. But because he never had the strength, he always saw these big, strong paladins wielding these huge swords and axes. He never thought he would be able to do it well, and he's learning otherwise now. So he's actually embracing the paladin aspect of life as well.
All right, cool. Tarian.
I'm Robin. I'm playing Tyrion. He is a halfling barbarian. He's short and friendly and happy, and he likes to fight with his friends. But he makes himself get angry and with some help from his friends. And he joined in with this party so he could get stronger, become a better fighter to protect his people.
All right. Quint.
Hey, I'm Drake, and I am playing Quint, a Shadow Fae rogue, Krakowian rebel, and he's joined the party to try to stop the undead. It's a big task, I know, but somebody's got to do it, and you've all been selected. His parents were actually ambassadors to the royal family of Cracovia, and they are ambassadors from the Shadow Fae. So, but he's actually hasn't been there too much because he came here when he was a kid, a little baby, and that's him.
All right. Last call.
Laska is a criminal raven folk bard, and he loves chaos. He's kind of an adrenaline junkie and an alcohol junkie and a regular junkie, and a little bit of a jerk. So
All right. And last but not least, Blink.
All right. Blink is a kobold artificer. So he grew up in Zobak in the kobold ghetto there, and he's pretty smart. So he worked around the city learning bits of clockwork here and there where he could, especially from the dwarves in the area. And is traveling to learn as much as he can about what's going on in the region at the behest of the lesser kobold king that he works for.
All right. So, last time, 2 weeks ago now, we'll do a little recap for our viewers. You guys came downstairs and met a keg golem, had a nice breakfast drink, and ran into Ormelda, the cleric of the brew, who manages the inn there. And you watched a Fellforge get created, and then you headed out to invade Doresh, the kingdom of the undead. So you helped out Captain Bonebasher, one of the 3 names that you were given here in the city as potential contacts you might investigate, and came back after a successful mission, and ultimately ended up meeting with Ajarlo, who is one of the other names. He was a cleric who offered Lascaw, I believe it was, a holy relic, a finger of Sister Adelind. They were going to meet later at the tavern. And Captain Bonebasher asked all of you to meet him the following day as he wants to present you with a gift. And at that point, he will agree to arrange a visit for you all with Trehild, who is the resident expert on all things undead.
Including robes, apparently.
Yes, including robes. She thinks she may be more knowledgeable than others. She's been kind of the lead in fighting the undead horde in giving knowledge. Yes,
What's up,
Ajarlo
Caesar?
is definitely giving you the finger. And that's where we left off. It was getting on towards evening. You guys had spent a productive day of travel. So what do you guys want to do while you're here?
Do we have like a barracks room or like first class
You
like
can get a
suites or a hotel room?
There's
Or...
certainly room at the tavern that you were at when you guys left with Captain Bonebasher.
Was that where we stayed the last time? I forgot.
Yeah, I
Yes.
definitely want to stay there and do
Sounds like
everything
a
I
good
can to
spot
figure
to
out how to
stay.
get my own keg golem. That's
Yeah, I'll help you with that. This thing seems pretty cool.
even if I have to adopt like a pony keg golem first to prove that I'm responsible.
You have to get an egg. Just a little egg first.
Get a little baby one.
It's like in
Hey,
health
what's up,
class.
Robin?
Make you carry around the bag of flour.
Start off with a growler golem and then work your way up to a keg.
Thank you for the cheer bits, Robin. Shopping.
Yeah, the dented
Yay.
tankard, which is where you met this said keg golem. And that's where you were arranging to meet with Ajarlo this evening.
Yeah, he got here early before
How
the
about the
stream
rest
even
of you? Any
started.
of you want to do anything while you're here?
No, I don't think Blink has anything else that he needs to do in town. So he's happy to just retire back to the room, maybe drink a little, maybe help Lascaw out by looking at this keg golem a little bit more to try to figure out how it works.
All right. So as you guys are hanging out here in the dented tankard, as usual, the keg golem comes in and begins serving just everybody indiscriminately. What was that? I just got a weird error. Formatted text value, set value XML error. Something in the
Probably that
chat.
whisper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that whisper. I got a blank whisper from Quint.
Both times, or
The first time had content. The second one was blank.
let's break it again. Let's try it. Let's see if we can break it again.
Hey, Drake, you got a little something on your nose there? It's like a
Yep.
brown. Right.
Yeah, it's coming.
We
Did
told
it
our
do it
kids
again?
Yeah, it did it
rabbit
again.
poop their Easter eggs.
And so as you guys are sitting around having just a nice, pleasant dinner, the golem is wandering around and serving everybody. And you see the door to the kitchen swing open, but you don't see anybody come in or out. And after a second or two, you notice this tray kind of walking through the tavern, dodging people, going back and forth, back and forth. And as it gets closer to you, you start to hear this weird music playing in the background. And this tray lifts up and it's being held by a monkey. There's this tiny little monkey there with a hat on, with no pants. And you notice there's no food on the tray, there's just plates. And he reaches one hand down and takes a giant crap in his hand, puts it on the plate, and chucks it straight at Blink and Lascaw. You each get a nice full-size plate of monkey crab. And that was thanks to Ingorgio. That was Clyde, the Poosling and monkey,
As always.
as always.
Blink scrapes it off, and as he usually does, collects some in a vial for later use.
Very good. So the evening starts to pass. It gets on into 7, 8 o'clock, and as you're hanging out there, you do see a Jarlo walk into the inn, the tavern. Here's his picture again. He's looking very regal and handsome as he walks in, and looks around the room, sees Lascaw, and waves over to him and picks up a large tankard of ale and comes over and sits down at your table. Welcome back, gentlemen. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for agreeing to meet me with my party. Make sure we could all agree on the price for fingering.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
The
Is there?
golden finger of Sister Anaheim, or whatever her name is.
Yes. This is a very rare item that I have to share with you. It breaks my heart to part with it, but I understand you are on a holy quest.
Yeah, unnamed. Would you mind peeping this?
Remind me where it is you found this.
This came to me through a variety of circumstances that is a long and not terribly interesting story. But needless to say, some of uh, the fellow shield maidens that were with Sister Adelind managed to recover a small portion of her body from the battle that where she passed, and she so impressed Sif while she was at that battle that her relics, her body parts, have become holy relics and have retained some of her essence and her power. He pulls out this little tiny box, and it's this beautiful designed wooden box with little gold edging around it, and it's got a little keyhole, and he takes out a little key and he pops it open and lifts up the lid and shows it to you. There's this nice little cushion, kind of a silk cloth covered cushion, um, and there is a finger bone resting inside the box.
All right, so I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to say a quick prayer, and as I'm holding the finger bone, I'm going to try to just brush against Lascaw. Would help if I had my combat tracker open. I'm going to cast Allure on him as if I'm going to make it look like I'm casting a spell on the finger bone.
Jarlo immediately, once you start casting, please be gentle, be careful with this. It is a holy relic, and I don't wish you to damage it in any way.
So I'm in my normal priest attire. I always forget her name. The
Your
Grajava, the shield maiden, who is Sif's counterpart. And so as I pray and stuff, am I getting any kind of vibes?
Give me an
kind of
insight check.
I have no idea.
Yeah. You're getting nothing. He
well,
seems like a fellow priest.
So last call, when you do your next charisma check, when dealing with this guy, you get a 1d6 bonus to it.
That'll be helpful when we're negotiating price if we decide to get this.
While they're talking about that, Blink, like motions that he needs another drink, and excuses himself to the bar. But really, that's just an excuse to leave the table. So he goes up to the bar and he does order another drink, but then he casts Detect Magic.
Okay.
And then gets his drink and pays for it and heads back because I want to see if this thing is giving off any sort of magical aura, but don't want him to know that I did
The
that.
bartender's like, our beer's not magical.
Or is it?
Or is it?
It powers the golem. No, yes. Yeah, no problem. You go ahead and cast your detect magic. When you get back to the table, you can see them. They're talking back and forth about the finger bone, and it radiates no magic whatsoever.
Now, is
The
he a
box
priest
doesn't. The
of
finger.
Grajava?
No, he is a priest of Thor Perun.
Okay, so then I'm just going to give my normal give like a benediction. I'm going to do it in my native tongue and just make it flowery. I have just do a little oration and then put it back in the box. Unfortunately, I am not getting any specific signed one way or the other. I apologize, but the lady is silent.
Does our Jarlo have like a bag with him?
Yeah, he has a pouch.
When he's not paying attention, Quinn wants to see if there's another box with a finger in it.
Okay, you can give me a sleight of hand.
Tower?
Yes, please. All right. So as you're negotiating back and forth, and the unnamed is doing his benediction and whatnot, you manage to distract him a little bit and reach into his pouch, and there's an odd assortment of things in his pouch. There's other little containers. There's you manage to pick up a few trinkets and odd doodads that you're really not quite sure what they are. Um, but they kind of give you the impression of
Snake oil?
yeah, it's like trinkets that are being sold.
Like little
That I mean,
boxes with
it's
stuff in them.
junk, but that's kind of it's that guy showing a coat full of watches kind of, kind of impression of the just odd, cheap kind of looking knickknacks that are dressed up nice is the impression you're getting from the items.
And Quint, doesn't take anything out of the bag. He puts it all back and kind of leaves it the way it was. And then he's just going to listen for a few more minutes here, see what the outcome with the rest of the party is.
Okay.
I just want to ask him if he's lying to us about this being a magical finger using my spell.
Okay. Give me an insight check.
Oh no, I'm using a magic spell. I put it in the chat.
Oh, trick question. Okay. Let me throw him on the combat tracker just so you can push the saving throw.
Okay. Wasn't coded or anything.
It wasn't coded. Robin, did you not code it?
No, a lot of the deep magic
Not you,
stuff.
Robin.
Oh.
Remedies in the chat who did the coding for all of the spells. And
Did you get an error again?
no.
No. I think maybe
Sorry, how
just
do I
part
push
of the
a wisdom save against him?
I'll just roll a wisdom save for him.
trick question spell.
So
Is that what
he
he's-
fails his saving throw. So you'll know. So he's compelled to answer truthfully. That's the gist of it, right? And so what was the question
Are you lying to
that you
us?
asked? Did you lie to us? And you see him start to say something and like call yes. uh, excuse me. And he kind of looks over at you. I think my relics are best served by those who are not quite so untrusting. And he closes the box and puts it into his pouch. And
I'm going to shout, "How dare you insult the goddess of the brew?" And I'm going to use my allure thing to try to get the dwarves here pissed at this priest.
all right, is that a? Oh, you're going to use that to.
Does that work against? I don't know how. Is this? Does it have to target one person, or is it just a charisma check bonus?
So if you do persuasion or deception or any of the charisma checks, intimidation,
Yeah, give me
any of those.
a persuasion.
Whoa! Wow!
You got the entire tavern pissed at this guy.
Wow, nice.
He starts freaking out and he books it for the door. And there's a steady stream of about 30 dwarves chasing him out the door and into the keep. And that's the last you see of a Jarlo.
Nice.
I'm going to take his beer
Goodbye.
that he left on the table and drink it.
Now, Blink is as you've got your detect magic going, and you're walking around. You obviously saw that the finger bone was not magical, but while you were doing that, you notice something catches your eye underneath the table, and there's some kind of a weird glow coming from underneath the table.
It's gum, isn't it?
It's magical gum.
ABC
So
gum
give us a
already been
roll.
chewed. Already been chewed.
Already been conjured.
It's like, wow. Yes.
All right. So you got yourself
Nice.
a
Very nice.
+1 crossbow
Nice.
bolt.
I can actually
Throw
use that. That's awesome. That's great.
Once.
Throw that in the party sheet for you.
Unless you tie a string to it, then you might be able to get another shot out of it.
There you go. And just because 1 is not all that useful, I'm going to give you a D. Can you roll a D6 for me, and that'll be how many you find.
3. All right.
There you go.
That's from
I'll take it.
Finn in the chat, or Caesar in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, Caesar.
All right, so you definitely figured him out and ran him out of the bar.
I was going to call him
Anything
out
else you
too,
wanna do?
but I didn't have to. He didn't have anything of value in his pouch much anyway, so.
He certainly did not. He is a peddler of fake artifacts and fake whatchamacallit, relics.
Good thing we weren't dying and needed healing, because we would have. How much
He
was
was
he
an
asking
actual
for that
priest.
figure?
500 gold.
Jeez.
He would have let you haggle him down to 50,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but it's just a random finger bone he found on the ground.
I'm surprised it was a real finger bone. It wasn't like made of plaster or something.
He put a little effort into it.
It's a cobalt.
There's always,
finger bone.
dead dwarves around here. It's probably a dwarf finger bone.
So,
All right, so
yeah,
go ahead.
Quint's gonna spend the rest of the evening until like 11 or so, just listening to conversations and trying to gather like rumors or the listens of the dwarves going on in the area. It's mostly dwarves in here, right?
Yeah, it's probably 80% dwarves.
Well, let me see how well I can listen to these dwarves talking. I don't think I speak Dwarven, so it might be a little hard. Where the hell's the language is at? No, I do not speak Dwarven.
Nice. Most of the conversation you don't get there. I mean, there's some that are speaking common, and there's a few other races present. You know, a few goblins and this and that, humans and whatnot, and so they're kind of speaking in common. But most of
Oh,
the
the
dwarven conversation.
a 17 charisma, he would probably, spark up a conversation here and there just to bleed information out. But I don't know how many dwarves want to have a big conversation with a shadow fey elf kind of looking guy.
More than you think. So yeah, it's actually very easy to strike up conversations. They seem like they are a little down. Like the war, this constant battle against the undead is taking its toll on them emotionally. Um, so they are happy to talk with any other ally. You do hear several mentions that Brogan Bonebasher, who you traveled with, has gone to visit with Havard Glimmerstone, who is over at the barracks, and apparently they are grave slayers together. They were in the same company, and that's really kind of all that's going on around town. Things are pretty quiet right now, other than the large number of refugees that you've seen. I mentioned that last time, where there's quite a number of refugees coming in across the border. Um, Most of them traveling from a place a little north of here called the Black Fortress. This is take a look at the map here. This is you guys are here at the yellow in Grisall, and the Black Fortress is maybe a 2 days journey north of here, and that's kind of the last bastion of freedom before you hit the full kingdom of the undead. And that's where the refugees seem to be coming from. All right.
We're
Well, you
supposed to meet
guys are
with
gonna.
Bone Basher in the morning, right?
Yeah. Bone Basher wanted to meet with you, and so if you guys are just going to spend the evening, you can go ahead and get some sleep. I already pushed a long rest, so you should all have a long rest
I'm gonna try to help
already pushed.
Last Call get up into a bed because I'm sure he's.
I'm fine in the gutter.
You're, you're,
Yeah, he's
this,
used to that.
this isn't the gutter. This is where the privy drains into the street. You have to get up.
I'll wash the monkey poo off.
All right. So the next morning, unlike the other day, there's no fell forged being made. Um, the keep is busy. People are going about their business, prepping things. You see groups of dwarves going out on patrols, and you do see Captain Bonebrasher. He comes in the morning. It's probably 8 o'clock or so, waiting for Lascaux to sober up from the evening. And he says, "I'd like to present to you all a gift. You are all extremely helpful in this trying time in accompanying me and my companions to recover the bodies of our slain comrades. And your names will be added to our songs, and you will be remembered. But as a gift for you, as a sorry,
Cupcakes?
as a gift for you, sorry about that. He pulls a shield that was kind of strapped to his back, and it looks like this. This is the heraldic symbol for Grisall. And he says, "This, I have this gift of this shield for you. Um, it's
It,
only available here. We create them here to fight in defense of our lives and our people. And I would like to give you one of our very special black shields of Grisol.
It's also the default Fantasy Ground theme shield too, right? The button.
I kind
Yeah,
of,
it
yeah.
is.
And so I'm going to put that in the party sheet as well.
All right, which one of us wants the boob shield?
Boob shield. Yeah.
I prefer to have a free hand or a second weapon myself.
I'm gonna just keep it on my back for when I'm running away anyway. So
That might be handy.
It is a magical shield. +1, plus it gives you advantage on saving throws against things that drain your hit points and stuff.
cool.
Who can actually use a shield?
I don't want it.
Oh,
I will eventually use a shield.
Oh, you can have it. Sorry, I'll put it back in there.
I won't use it yet, but soon.
No, I mean, kobolds are pack rats anyway. You're just gonna add it to the pile of stuff strapped to your back.
Yeah, it right now it'll just protect those bits of meat that I picked up somewhere.
And the little
The
samples
chunks of
of
dry
Clyde poo.
Oh yeah, and the Clyde poop and all that stuff.
I put it back in the party sheet so you could grab it.
All right, thanks.
All right.
What about the unnamed? Can he use a shield? I mean, I don't think he's here, so
We can ask him when he gets back.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll double check.
I wouldn't want the boob shield either. It's not a boob shield.
I don't know.
nipple
It looks like a
shield.
boob
It's
shield.
a nipple shield. It's a difference. It's a difference. It could be a male
Are-
nipple.
Are we allowed to show that image on Twitch?
As long as it's not attached to a person, I think you're okay.
I think that makes it worse.
Detached.
Not according to Twitch. Male nipples would have hair around it, so just saying. Usually, mostly.
All right. So he says, as we had agreed.
We're all like, thanks.
Where can we sell this?
Yeah.
Area lights.
Yeah, that's canon now. That's our name.
Where's that priest at? Maybe he can get us a good value on it.
Sell it off to the dwarves who gave it to you. That'll go over real well. So yeah, Captain Bonebrasher says, as we had agreed upon, you accompanied me, and so now I'm ready whenever you are to go and see Trehild, the expert on undead.
As soon as my party quits stuffing their backpacks full of the free buffet food over there, I think we're ready.
All right. And Mr. Blink, I remember you asking lots of questions about how the Fellforged was created. If anyone can give you a straight answer, Trehild would be the most knowledgeable.
Ah, great. Yeah, let's go talk to him then.
All right. So he gets all of you and what's that?
Is the Trail a female? I thought.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, her. Sorry, I
She is.
misspoke.
She.
Sorry, I have a cold.
Well, if it's dwarvish, she kind of got to look twice sometimes.
It's just how short the beard is, not whether or not there's a beard. So as you, Captain Bonebasher, he takes you and he leads you down into the keep. This is an area where once you get past the first kind of level down into the second, you don't see anybody that's not a dwarf. And everywhere you go under there, people are eyeballing you. They're looking at you real funny, like, well, what the heck are you doing down here? And he takes you down and down and down, and you get down to about 6 levels down. in underground under this keep. You can tell that the keep is vastly larger underground than it is above ground. There's far more space. There's far more storage. They're well stored for like a siege of any kind. And he brings you to a library, and there's these huge iron-bound doors leading from the Great Hall, and he leads you there into the this giant library section, and knocks a few times on the door once more, and inside you see an old dwarven woman, and she looks up at you. And the smell of old dusty books kind of hangs thick in the air in this large study. The walls are covered floor to ceiling with bulging bookshelves. There's tomes and scrolls and loose papers piled up on top of more books on top of the shelves, on the floor, on every available surface. In the few places where there are no books, there are these weird, bizarre, grotesque items, like a ghoul's misshapen skull. There's a withered human hand, a couple of shriveled eyes floating in liquid in a large glass vessel. And this elderly dwarf, hair is gray and wispy. She kind of peers over these spectacles that she's wearing. She's munching on a pickled egg, it looks like, that she plucked out of a jar that sits right next to the jar with the eyeballs. And she's,
I wonder if she
yes,
misses once in a while and has to spit out the eyeball. Like, oops,
yes,
wrong jar.
what is it? You have to speak up, I'm deaf.
We are here to speak with Trehild Shardspike.
She died.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Congratulations. I mean, the other one. Yeah, oh, wait.
What do you want with Trehild?
We
Have a
were
seat.
sent. Who's the thing that sent us in Sobek? What was the name of the
Rava was the deity.
Rava? We have been
Yeah,
sent
a
by
god sent us to
Rava.
talk to you. I guess
Yes.
before you were able to talk to them in person? I'm not sure.
A god? Which one? We got so many of them around here.
Rava, a lot of gears.
Presumptuous slut. What did she want you to do?
Just hear you say that. We can go back home now.
She leans closer into you. Speak up, I can barely hear you.
She says, "Let somebody find the notes." Oh, she told us to recover the holy robes of Sister Adelind and use it to stop the Dark Wedding, then defeat the leader of the Ghoul uprising.
Well, that sounds like quite an adventure. I know a little bit about that first part. Don't
The
know about no
robes?
dark wedding, though.
The holy robes of Sister Adelind? You know of these?
Yeah, Adeline was one of these shield maidens of Sif. She was fighting near Yarrowsburg. She points to a little map, and it's a map of the area of Morgau, and she puts her finger on Yarrowsburg and points it out to you, which is right here.
This is a nice
on the
map.
map. It shows the general region. And she says she was engaged in a battle. There was a vampire lord, Otmar the Sallow. He was a piece of work. He'd raised this army of slavering ghouls, and apparently Adeline impaled a couple of them with a single thrust of her radiant spear. She drew her longsword to start taking care of the rest, and as the ghouls grabbed and clawed at her, one of them tore off a bit of the hem of a bright blue robe she wore beneath her chainmail. Sister Adeline fought bravely on, but there were just too many. The ghouls pulled her to the ground and ate her. Nobody was able to recover any of her. After the battle, one of Adelin's fellow shield maidens who survived the fight found the scrap from a robe in the mud. She retrieved it, a piece of cloth, and fled into hiding. Later on, the faithful followers of Sif placed the holy robes inside a reliquary to keep them safe. When a paladin bearing the relic came under attack from a pack of ghouls, she was able to use this reliquary. It apparently had gained some magic, some divine powers, and they was able to use these newly awakened divine powers to destroy them. Now, what are your plans with these holy robes?
Well, we
Cosplay
plan
mostly.
on to use them to stop the Dark Wedding and then defeat the leader Ghoul Uprising.
The ghouls are always uprising. Which
Well,
which leader are you talking about? Nicophorus?
is he the leader of the Ghoul Uprising?
Nicophorus is the current emperor of the Ghoul Empire.
Yeah, that guy sounds like he should die. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really into politics.
Yes. All of them. All of the leaders should die.
I like my little anarchist friend. Yeah, just kill them all.
Starting with the ones that took over Cracovia.
Oh, it's not just ghouls there. You should know that.
Oh, I do as well. You know, they came up from underneath the keep, down deep, and he points just below us. That's how they got in.
Yeah. The Ghoul Empire is a bit of an anomaly. It doesn't have land over the top like most kingdoms do. You know, Zobek in that region. You've got the Maroti, and you've got with their dragon lands and whatnot. You've got the greater duchies of Morgau. You've got Dornig. You've got all of these countries and lands and empires built. Well, the ghouls, they took over the underground. You never know where they can pop up. We don't know the true extent of their empire. We don't know how far their tunnels lead. Every so often, a cave will open up and hundreds, perhaps thousands of ghouls will pour out. We put them down where we can. But the empire, the underground empire, is quite unknown in its true extent.
Isn't there a finite number of corpses?
Of course there is. But every time they capture any one of us, we add to their number. Every time we have a child, it can eventually add to their number. And they don't die the way we do. Given enough time, any battle will go their way because every single one dead can be raised.
There's
Well,
got to
I
be
wish
the
you the
way
best of
to
luck.
stop them. Where are
To
these
stop them?
robes? Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, before they rise again, there should be some way to stop them from rising again. Some ritual or spell or ointment.
Oh, maybe. I wasn't aware that there was an uprising. I knew Nicophorus has been made some kind of agreement. I don't know the details of it, but made some kind of an agreement with the vampire lords. That's why they took over Krakova, or how they took over. Independently, neither of them, neither the vampire or the ghoulish kingdom, could have overcome them. But together they were able to combine their forces and overthrow Krakova.
Maybe this wedding isn't a wedding of one person, but of two groups.
That could very well be. But who? Vampires and ghouls? They're already joined at the hip.
Well, yes, but if we could separate them, then I'm not sure. Sometimes God speaks in riddles.
That's true. Bunch of lazy gits.
So where might we find this reliquary?
The reliquary? Those holy robes? I don't know where they are right now. I believe, though, that they're in the possession of an order of knights, Knights of Sif, that wage war against the undead in Krakovar. They operate in secret uh, in the borders and will occasionally find and track down and take out groups of undead that they come across. Um, I don't know specifically where they are, but I think I know who might know. You familiar with Jost?
Oh yes, Jost. Yes, we had dinner last week.
Drake, you are, or Quint is most definitely familiar with Jost. It is a city in the Wolf Mark that is just across the border from Krakova.
Oh, I
It's
see it. Yeah.
all the way up here. Yeah, it's the city of Jost.
Has it been taken over by the?
No, this is the Wolf Mark is a still independent country. It is actually managed by Reaver dwarves, a very violent, barbaric group of dwarves that have held off the undead. And Jost is a city there that is still free, and they they have temples to the Shield Maiden there. She says, "I know the knights they operate in secret, but the priests at the temple of the Shield Maiden, they probably know how to contact them. I imagine those the court in exile, the Krakowian court, might also know where they are. I know Queen Ursula has been seeking allies wherever she can find them."
You're remarkably well informed for a lady that hates to be bothered.
We're in a constant battle against Morgau, against King Luxin, King Emperor Nicophorus, bunch of undead shits. I do maintain contact with a number of leaders from around the region, even though I'm not political in nature. I use what I can to help the fight.
And maybe you can further help us as well. I was wondering what else you could tell us about that Fellforge, the technology that is used to craft it. Can that be scaled down, possibly to something such as this size? And he Blink pulls out his cannon, and he says, "Yeah, I would like to augment this to help us in this fight."
She looks at it. And, oh, isn't that cute? It's a tiny little cannon. What's it shoot? Bubblegum? Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the Fellforge, they're a nasty bit of work. The priests here, they like to make out that their creation is some great divine secret. Truth is, they're not all that different from the creation of the Gearforged. If you're familiar with that process, you're 80% of the way to making a Fellforged. The difference is, of course, the life essence that you put in. Fellforged are formed by binding wraiths. This isn't as easy as it is very difficult to trap a wraith for binding. But if you're skilled enough, when you fight a wraith and destroy it, rather than just causing it to dissipate. You can instead take some time and you can harvest it. Now, a lot of creatures have body parts that can be harvested. Some have some really amazing properties. But harvesting a wraith, you got to do that immediately after it's killed before its essence fully evaporates. Now, from that wraith, you can collect what's called a spirit cloth. And if you have some proper containers, you can also collect some shadow flux. The rest of the things you might collect aren't really needed for this. Well, the cloth needs to be soaked in the shadow flux for 10 days. It'll take at least one vial of flux for every day that it's soaking. Once you got this done, the resulting shadow cloth net will be able to capture and bind the wraith. After that, you got to get the wraith into the gear forged body. Usually we use some kind of a binding spell of obedience, a Gaius, or something like that. Without those binding spells, though, they tend to go crazy.
And let's
So
take a quick 2-second break to allow Matakuri to clear his throat and because I know how talking like that can get your frog going.
This whole time, Blink has been
You,
most
like,
definitely.
you got to plan ahead. If you're going to talk like that for a while, have some tea on the side with lemon in it. It helps. Trust me.
Yeah. And there's the text of what I just rated.
oh, sweet, that makes my
Nice.
So if you,
job easier.
you don't have to
But
type it
Blink
all
has
out.
been like desperately like trying to keep up and take down notes as quick as he can.
Yeah, she seems very blunt and perfectly willing to share that kind of knowledge. Anything to help with destroying the undead.
Do you have any flux on you in one of these jars or eyeball containers?
I don't. The clerics keep it up in their temples. It's pretty secretive stuff, you know. I mean, not that I care what the clerics want to keep secret, but they don't like the idea of other people making these things and setting them loose because they couldn't control them. I figure, hell, get them far enough away, get them in somewhere into Morgau, let them loose.
I like the way you think. Man, these dwarves are all pretty awesome, guys. Brew
The only
guys.
problem is sometimes the vampire priests there, or the red priests, get a hold of one and they can undo the binding, the obedience binding. Then they turn them back on us, and we have to destroy them. That's a lot more difficult, because once you kill them, the wraith is released, and then you got to deal with the wraith after that.
Um,
Why don't,
is
why don't
is
we want to mess
there?
with this?
Yeah, is there any other special tools or anything that's needed to do this harvesting?
Yeah, you can pick up a set of harvesting tools. It's useful for more than just wraiths, but anywhere up in the market, you can find them. And outside of that, I have added a new thing into the message of the day. There's a section on harvesting, and there is some information on what skill checks you might need to make in order to harvest from things that you have killed. And there can be a lot of interesting body parts and magical capabilities from these monstrosities and aberrations that you might encounter.
Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, Blink says, "Oh, thank you. You've been more helpful than I could have thought," and makes a note to pick up some of those harvester's tools as soon as we leave here.
You might need a
Oh.
bag too to carry around the parts.
What's wrong with this one? And he just like points to the sack on his back.
It's like holes and stuff poking out, gears
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit. I was thinking it might leak. Dribble.
If you're going to start harvesting, I recommend you pick up a bunch of empty vials. You never know what kind of, liver juice or ichor or slime you might come across that you want to collect. And if you don't have a vial and you're stuck it, pouring it in your water jug and drinking
Blink.
it for the next 3 days.
Blink pours a bunch of poop out of vials right onto the floor, and then holds up the empty vials and says, "Done."
There
we
you
hear
go.
we hear a little bit of music in the back of our head. Oh my God, poop. Quint's gonna point to this map that she was showing us and says, "Is it possible that you have another copy of this map?"
I might be able to sketch you up one.
Oh, that would be good for the cause of defeating the undead.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get you an overall copy of the map. A lot of it's pretty harsh territory, you know. Traveling through Morgau is no picnic. So where are you headed next?
Through Morgau, I suppose. We
Through
don't actually have
Morgau?
a we don't actually have a quest, do we? Like a direction. I mean, I think if we're going like to here, that's a long way away. I think that's like level
She
8 or 9 or
recommended Jost, which is, as you can see, a very long ways away. And she also mentioned that she thinks Queen Ursula might know where they could be found. Queen Ursula is, as you know, Quint, the Queen of Krakova, the exiled queen.
Yeah, but we don't know where she's at, do we?
You haven't found out yet. You haven't asked.
Urzura? What's her name? I want to type it.
Ursula. Urzula.
Well, I would be very interested in knowing where the queen's location is at. Perhaps my parents are with her.
Your parents?
Yes.
Well, you know that they, I'm sure you would love to know where they are, and so would the entire kingdom of Morgau. The court moves around a lot. They don't stay in any one spot. Um, so I don't know where they're currently at. I know they're generally somewhere in the Grand Duchy of Dornig. However, Jarrow Whitebeard, up at the Black Fortress, he's probably in the know of where they might be. He communicates with them frequently as we try to plan and execute resistance against the undead. I recommend you head up to the Black Fortress. Go talk to Jarrow. Tell him I sent you. And before you head off to the Wolfmark, I do highly suggest you you find the court in exile and talk to them a little bit about the knights.
Well, you have been just delightful. Is there anything we can do for you? Any messages you want delivered or threats?
No. If you come across a nasty bit of work ghoul named Vukas Shroudson, kill him and tell him I sent you.
Do you want us to harvest any of him?
Well, that's up to you. I'd prefer if he were just burnt to ash. He's
We
a
point to
bastard little Shadowmancer Darakul.
I point to her jar of eyeballs and says, "No eyeball from him."
No, that's for snack later.
Ugh.
Yeah, Vukas is, he's been a particularly nasty pain in my side. He's a Shadowmancer and a Spy Master for Radomir Marrowblight. Marrowblight's a High Priest of Vardasing, the Hunger God. Other than that, I don't know where he's at. But he's been seen around the area. You haven't come across him, have you?
What was
Not that I know of. We have killed a few, though.
Well, anything else? Otherwise, I'll get back to my delicious egg here.
You've been very helpful. I was sorry to hear of your untimely demise.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Rest in peace.
You don't smell dead yet, by the way.
I bathe once a year, like clockwork.
Whether
I'm
she needs it or
sorry.
not.
Blink shudders a little.
I guess she might be kind of interested in seeing some of these letters that we found, maybe. Like
Which
the
letters are you want to show?
the Morgau missive from it says, in the name of the Baron Urslav, crawling lord of Valorana, keeper of the Red Sisters. Hand out Morgau missive. Can't share with a DM.
Is
And
it
then
text or an image?
It's an image.
Okay.
And then the image of handout letter from a spy.
Ah, gotcha.
We got a bunch of handouts.
Yeah, you do.
I got one I can't open anymore. Empire of the Ghouls.
Which one?
Felixia Cruel.
There, you should be able to open it now.
I'm not sure if these mean anything to you, but these are notes and things we've collected off of dead undead.
Oh, these are interesting. Urslav, huh? King Lucan, yeah, that bloody bastard vampire. So they have their sights set on Zobek. Well, they want to divert attention. They must be planning something. Something must be going on. I'll have to follow up on this. I've heard the name of Urslav, Baron Urslav. He's a nasty ghoul. Darakul, one of the Darakul noble types. Shroudson. Oh, you got a letter from Shroudson. So you have heard of Shroudson.
Yeah, when
I
you
don't
mentioned
read.
that name, I thought it sounded familiar.
Ah. So you got a letter from... Let's see what Shroudson had to say. Okay, so Shroudson's leading whoever this Baal Sheth was. Jeez. I'm going to switch back to my normal voice. That's I'm killing my throat.
It's hard. You gotta get some deep.
Yeah. So she looks at that. Boris Cruel. Name doesn't sound familiar. Did you encounter this Boris? Do you know who he is?
Boris, isn't that the one we killed?
He was the Darakul you killed
Yes.
in
Yes,
the underground.
he was not as easy to kill as some of them, but he did perish.
Mm-hmm.
According to our extension, the barbarian seems to be doing the most damage lately. He's taking the lead.
Taking the lead. So yeah, she reviews those. She says she's going to have to go over them with Jarrow to see if he has anything that could to give them a hint as to what's going on. But this is very interesting that there seems to be a coordinated effort amongst the ghouls, and the priestesses of Morena. He's seeing an interesting. She points out that there seems to be an interesting connection being formed between the worshippers of Vardason, god of hunger, and the worshippers of Morena, who is the goddess of blood and lust.
There's also this alchemist letter, but I think we took care of that one. Bartleby and Grantham, the handout alchemist letter.
Yep. You found the dead body where that letter was. You found the body that letter was on, and it was eaten by gorlings, which you then killed.
Yeah.
I think you fought the pudding that was in the jar.
Did we try to get a jar?
You did something. I can't remember. There was
There
a
was
bunch of jars with hands in them. Yeah, if you have no more questions for her, she'll dismiss you to go head back to the to the surface.
So I'll leave the copies with her, I suppose.
All right. Are you showing her the one of the face that you saw? The
Yeah,
one with the drawing?
yeah, I couldn't find that. I think it's in my inventory though, not on my note. Parchment. Oh yeah, here it is. It's unidentified. Yeah.
Yes,
It's like
because the
King James
identified
the
name says who
Third
it
or
is.
something. It's like King James the Third or something. I don't know.
All you know is that he looks Krakovan in his style of dress and hair and whatnot. Um, and Quint, he looks vaguely familiar to you, but you're not sure why.
So Quint will pull it out and said, "We think we found maybe an assassin squad or someone out since they had this image on them. Some undead. Didn't the undead have it on them?"
Yes, you met up with a Darakul and some cannibals that were eating a body, and the Darakul had this image on him, but you didn't. You weren't able to ask any questions.
Yeah. Do you recognize him? I think he's Krakowian. Let's show the picture to her.
She looks it over and says, mm, "Hmm. No, I don't know who that is. Not familiar. You might ask Jarrow though. He seems to know a little bit more about Krakova. He's dealing with a lot of the refugees as they come in. Maybe one of them is familiar."
Well, thank you for your time, Treehild. And FYI, if you do make it up to the surface, there is a priest named Ajarlo, and he should be tossed out on his ass twice. He's selling false relics.
I never go up. I never go outside. The air is far too clean up there.
Blink
I
like
came by
loves
this
this.
voice honestly.
Blink loves this woman, like everything about her.
All right. So as you guys are heading back up to the surface level of the keep, um, as you're walking along, Laska, you walking along, you kick something as you are walking along the corridor, and you see this brief glint as if light was reflecting off something as a small, almost like a marble or something, skitters away that you had kicked. And after you take a closer look at it, you discover that you have found an elemental gem,
Ooh.
courtesy of Remedies in the chat,
Thank you.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add that to the party sheet for you.
Passion for drawing. What's up, man? Thank you for the subscription, bud. Nice to see you. What are you up so late?
And it looks kind of like that, the green one. Apparently, it allows you to summon a water elemental.
I'm going to handle it
Nice.
very carelessly, tossing it up in the air.
Since it's Lascar, are we gonna reflavor it as a beer elemental?
A beer elemental, yeah, amber.
Passion for Drawing in the chat is the one who did my dragon drawing and my little dungeon master guy. He did my
Oh,
stream
cool.
art for me, so he's very
I've
talented.
got that dragon on a shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah,
There it
Nice.
is.
yeah, yeah. Got it on a mouse pad. See, mouse pad. Nice.
That's great work. Great work.
He does some. He's got a bunch of comic books he's doing. You can go over to his. He's streaming, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays afternoon, I think. And yeah, that's true. I didn't send you one. And yeah, he does really cool work. He also did Marbania stuff too. So Marbania's art too. He's very talented. Those images look cool.
All right, so you guys get up back to the top, and you've kind of talked to most of the people that you had set out to talk to. Blink, you wanted to do some shopping, I think.
Yeah, I want to try to pick up one of those monster harvesting kits.
Yeah, I don't think I have an item created for it. I forgot. I was too busy setting all that up so I can do it automatically. But just add one to your inventory and reduce the cost as it's listed in the message of the day.
Okay, I think it said 30 gold.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And when you get up there in the courtyard, there's a fresh batch of refugees that have come in, and these have the look of Krakova. They look like they've traveled a long ways, and you see a group of them. One of them is there's a group that seem to be, I don't know, they're doing some kind of a weird uh, dance or coordinated movements, and after a little bit you realize that they're doing some kind of battle training. I think they may be monks or something else. They're doing some kind of a battle training, and the leader pulls out this sword, and it's a very odd sword. None of you except Quint have ever seen a sword like this in terms of its style and shape, and it seems awkward at first, but the guy who's using it is so graceful in how he's swinging it around and uh, basically conducting a demonstration and teaching them and walking them through. Now, Quint, you do recognize this as a special ceremonial weapon of Krakovar. It's not in terribly popular, but it is used in parts of Krakovar as an ancient weapon, and it's large. And if you don't know how to use it, it's very unwieldy. But the people who have mastered it can wield it with ferocity, and it's quite a beautiful weapon to watch them use.
So Unnamed is definitely interested in watching this, seeing what it's like, always looking for ways to improve his abilities, and this doesn't seem like it's as strength-based as some of the other weapons. So I'm going to watch this, and if the group is going to keep passing by, I'll stop. I'm going to watch this for a moment. You go ahead. I'll meet you back.
I'll hang back with him, sit on the ground, and sit for my flask. I'm not paying attention though.
All right. So yeah, it's they conduct this kind of coordinated training exercise and general calisthenics while he's also demonstrating the use of this sword. And you notice absolutely that this guy is not using his strength uh, hardly at all. He's not straining or struggling at all with the smooth flowing movements of this sword that he's using. Um, After a little time goes by, he calls all of them to a rest, and he comes over and kind of introduces himself and says, "I notice you've taken an interest in our practice."
Yeah, where'd you come from?
Why, yes, I've never seen someone with such skill that, and I'll sort of raise my arm so my robes will drop down, exposing my very thin arms, almost emaciated looking arms. So I'm very good with this Nerean hook, but since I have been fighting a lot of undead creatures, I'm looking for something that does more damage. This hook is nice, but all the other paladins and such have such large swords and axes, and I just don't have the strength to wield them. This intrigues me.
Yes, this weapon would do you well. It is difficult to learn. It may take some time, and you will need to spend some time in training. But this sword is would fit your lack of strength quite well. Despite its apparent large size, it is a very delicate weapon and does not require much in terms of strength to use. However, if you are dexterous enough and skilled enough, you can wield it very effectively.
So I'm going to look around and find like a barrel or a tree stump or something that's made of wood, even a wooden bench or something that's close by. Yes, I am very good with my hands, and I will put four shuriken right in a tight group right next to each other, using uh, there's a special, there's concealed blade weapon option where um, my hands are empty, and then all of a sudden I can throw a shuriken from where it's concealed. So yes, I am very good with my hands, but again, this is a weapon I'm not familiar with. I would be very interested. Perhaps I can arrange for some lessons, do you know where one can be purchased?
This, my friend, is a tegas. They are largely unknown outside of my country of Krakovar. Uh, I was but an apprentice in learning this blade. If you ever find yourself in Krakovar, though, um, any of the larger cities of Krakovar, you will be able to find a knowledgeable teacher. It may take some time to become familiar with the movements and the graceful handling, but it would be time well spent for you. Perhaps Wallenberg or uh, Warszawa, Valenoria, Heidelberg. I would avoid hitting Krakova itself, the capital city. That is still far too overrun with the undead.
Quint's going to
We have
introduce himself when they get done chatting.
okay. We have been traveling by river where possible, and in the brightest sunlight when not, trying to avoid the nighttime horrors. Uh, we arrived here from Wallenberg. We uh, we were able to make it to the Black Fortress through Quebec. It was a difficult journey, but it is possible if you are careful. Quint, what did you want to come over and do?
He wanted to introduce himself to him. He says, uh, "My family is ambassadors from the Shadow to Queen Ursula and her royal family.
He
They
bows
were
to you.
they were in the keep when the ghouls attacked. I was able to escape, but I'm not sure what happened to my family. I'm on the lookout for them, and I am also of the mice.
He nods his head. I understand that Morgau has quite a problem with mice. They
The
are breeding far too quickly for them.
Blink
And
is super interested in the conversation.
mice.
He's like, not as good as rats, but I'm listening.
like poppers. He says the mice of Morgau have been a plague upon the residents and have been eating away at their store supplies, making it much more difficult for them to store food. They appear to be very effective right now. He kind of looks around at the refugees with him. Uh,
I'm
Many of us
surprised they
would not
don't
be here.
have cats or lizards or small dogs. Even kobolds would help get rid of that problem.
Oh yeah, we'd wipe
You,
those mice out in no time.
he chuckles.
My
Yes, the
fellow
mice of
companions.
Morgau are very difficult to see. They're everywhere and nowhere at once. Every city you go to, every town, the mice are there.
Quint could be one, for all I know.
Stranger things have happened, although you've been away for some time.
So as he gets ready to leave, I'm going to ask, do you mind? Can I take a look at that for a moment? And I'm going to try to imitate some of the things that he was doing, at least get a feel for the blade, how it feels, see if this is something, I've tested Tyrion's axes and seen some of the other paladins' blades and things, even in shops, gone through, picked up great swords, long swords, even short swords, and they're just, so I'm just want to see how this feels and if it's worth trying to pursue.
All right. So yeah, you take a closer look at it, and he shows you some of the basic stances, some of the basic flowing movements, and you can tell that um, not only is the sword lighter than you think, it appears to be constructed quite a bit better than some of the other standard kind of long swords and short swords that you encountered. The metal is really keen and quite sharp, and he describes the effect that this weapon can have. It's very effective. It walks you through some of the basic movements. It's a little awkward at first, but you think given enough time, you might be able to pick it up. It may take a month or two, but it's certainly learnable. And it does feel like it would be a good fit for your strength.
And you say this is called a Tegha?
A tegas,
Tegas. Ah, well,
Teghas,
thank
tegas.
you for your time. This is, I think, the answer to what I've been looking for.
You are very welcome. I am always pleased to see more interest in our ancestral weapons. So many youngsters want to go off and pick up one of the cheap long swords or short swords and stab at things and poke at things. But with this, you can slice them into the tiniest, thinnest bits and walk away completely untired.
And I'll make sure when I'm done, I'll spend as long as I can, and then when I'm done, I'm going to get my shurikens back. make sure I don't forget those.
All right. So yeah, he'll spend most of the afternoon. He's there with his people, but they're all kind of resting at this point. Refugees. So what do the rest of you guys want to do?
Um, I think kind of plan a trip to the next to the Black
To the Black Fortress?
Yeah,
Yep.
to the Black
Yeah.
All right.
Fortress. Is that
I'm gonna play some music
upstream?
for the refugees because
Is that
they're all party
upstream or
poopers.
downstream, or do we need to hike there?
It is up the road. So from Grisall, it is 2 days north. And there's a nice road. They do tell you that this road is kept particularly safe. They have a lot of patrols because the Black Fortress is the last bastion of protection against Morgau. It's right on the edge of Dornig and Morgau. And so there is a lot of military presence between here and there, and especially there as they hold off the undead.
Now it is a fortress, right? Do we need any like letter of introduction to get in, or do they welcome travelers?
They welcome all kinds of people. They're overflowing with refugees right now. So as long as you're alive, you shouldn't have any difficulty getting in. The undead have quite a bit more of a difficulty trying to get in.
I don't think any of us are undead, right, guys? You have to tell me if you are.
Last I checked, I think I'm good.
I think some of us smell undead, but does that count? Everybody smells last call. Remember, he slept in
that's
the
how
gutter last
Winkle
night.
always smells.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we're ready for a 10-minute break, Drake.
Yeah, I think so. So we are going to do a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back for the second hour and a half. But in the meantime, I am going to start a timer using my snaz, and we're going to set it for 21:41. And I'm going to start that timer, and then I'm going to put on some pretzel for you guys in stream if you're hanging out. If you're going to go away, you got about 10 minutes until you got to come back. So go get a drink and do all that stuff, and then go away and come back. You got to come back. It's going to get better. I'm sure there's some combat, I think, because we're getting on the road. So we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. play some D&D.
All right, we all back?
I think we're
Good.
getting there. Stop this music. Yeah. All right, we're back from break, and we're going to continue on with Empire of the Ghouls, session 13, with Diamaticuri.
All right. So you guys start prepping and planning for the trip up to the Black Fortress, the last bastion between civilized land and the land of the Undead Kingdom under King Lucan, who is the vampire lord. It's about a 2-day journey, and as I mentioned earlier, it's very heavily patrolled. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before you head out, or are you guys ready to head out?
I'm good.
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Just refresh,
I'm going to
like
scour the city for any kind of off-market weapons dealers or odd collections, museums, anything to see if I can find a Tegas. I don't expect to, but I'm hoping to find it. I also
Give
can't
me a
afford it, so I'm going to have to steal
D100.
it or something.
Roll low. Not low enough. Nope, you're not able to find one.
I'll try to help him out and see if there's any contacts with the Krakowians that might have one laying around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a D100 as well.
Oh, one,
I
right
consider
here.
asking Lascaux to steal it for me or kill the
60.
guy who has one so I could inherit it.
Done.
But then I don't. But I don't say it out loud. I just think about it and then move on.
There was a
I feel
guy
like I
that
should
had
kill
one.
for you, and
There's a
I'll
guy
do
that had
it.
one last
Don't
week,
even
and
say
he left
anything.
with it.
Yeah, not quite low enough, Quint. You were much closer, but not quite
Yeah,
low
that's what I
enough.
said. There was a guy last week that had one, and he left with it. It was here. He went north, though. Maybe we'll catch up with him.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so you guys are all prepped out, gathered, resupplied yourself, whatever you need to buy, player's handbook stuff, feel free. And just as an aside, just for an addition that I'm making to this campaign setting, in terms of magic item purchasability, availability, I have a new set of shops, and I probably did not link them into the message of the day. I will do that for next time. But there is a set of shops. You should have a story shared with you. Uh, anyway, I have
Oh, yeah.
a set of shops that have magic items for sale, and it depends on the size of the city or settlement that you're going to. So if you go to the hamlet, a hamlet, small sized with 250 or less, fewer people, there's a set of things that will be available at whatever price is listed there. And the larger the city, the more rare an item will become available. Um, so there's a tiered scale, as well as the larger the city, the lower the pricing will be. The smaller the city, the higher the markup is going to be on any given item.
Now, are the tattoos something you do in your campaign as well? And are we familiar with those? Have we seen them around?
Yes, tattoos are absolutely a part of the campaign, magical tattoos. I haven't yet, but I was actually planning on including a few of those as treasure over the next little bit, with Tyrion in mind. But yes, magical tattoos are absolutely available for purchase.
And what was Grisol considered?
Grisol is. One second. Trying to remember how many people are in Grisol.
Quivering mouthers. Oh.
So this would be probably a town, almost a city. Zobek would definitely be a city, and there's a few other larger ones that would be cities. Grisol would be the town level.
You did some work on these.
Yeah, we do have access to the shops button on the right. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not.
Yeah, in the story
Yeah, if you
entry.
open up the shops and then
search for
change the group
shops.
to Magic Item Stores Town, you should see the list of. It's broken out kind of by type: ammunition, armor, potions, blah blah blah.
John, I dropped my old shield into the party sheet. I was just going to have you sell that and then distribute the money across the party since I got a magic shield.
Okay. Unless anybody else wants the shield, the mundane shield.
Nobody else
All right.
wanted the magic shield, so I'm sure no one wants the mundane one.
Sold. You all get 1 gold from it.
All right. I'm gonna buy a popsicle.
It's an expensive popsicle.
All right, so you can take a look at that, and if you have the money, we can say that you purchased it here in Gristle. But as you guys head out, get all your gear ready to go. You start heading out. It's a 2-day journey, and really, it's some of the most boring travel you have had so far. Just about every hour or two, another patrol passes by you. And these are not small patrols. These are anywhere from 10 to 20 dwarves wearing heavy armor, wielding hammers and axes and swords and great clubs and just every kind of variety of thing that you can think of, mauls. And they march kind of up and down. The patrols go along. So probably every hour or two as you guys are traveling, you run across one of these patrols, and every one of them, as you pass by, greets you and stops for a second to make sure you're okay, you're not undead, but then lets you pass by as after you pass their test. Um, so it's a.
If I
Go
see
ahead.
any
Breathe.
of that worship the Grajava, the Shield Maiden, I will play a blessing over them.
All right. They are all very grateful. There are, in most of the groups, there's at least one that, acknowledges Rojava. Maybe not a cleric or paladin, but there certainly are a number of supporters of the Shield Maiden. So after 2 days of kind of boring, tedious journey, you guys eventually do come and see in the distance the Black Fortress. And this is kind of what it looks like from a distance. It's this large, kind of rising up out of the hills, very imposing looking fortress there. And looks like Sven recognizes it.
Oh yes,
Is
one of
that
my
from
favorite all-time movies
is that from
ever.
Dune? Is that from Dune?
No, it's
No.
Krull.
Krull.
Oh, Kroll.
So yeah, this is the Black Fortress as it rises up out of the hills there. And even from as you get near, even from a little bit of a distance, you can see that the place is very, very busy, and there are a lot of refugees hanging around. Um, the walls are, they have very frequent guards walking around. patrolling along the walls and outside the city. You do see groups of refugees camped outside the city. You're not sure why they're outside versus inside, but there are several groups of them that are camped out there. And as you get into the main section of the Black Fortress, you can tell that it is heavily defended and would be extremely difficult to try and attack or lay siege to it. Um, there's guards everywhere as you go in, but other than stopping you and interrogating you to kind of make sure that you're alive, um, nobody really bothers you all that much. They all seem really busy. A lot of the dwarves inside are tending to the various refugee groups that are there. So what do you want to do there?
We go up to the front.
All right, so you head right up to the front. There's a big gate. There's a bunch of dwarves there. They all come over and check you. Uh, one of them pulls out a little amulet and kind of waves it past each of you. And as it passes each of you, it kind of blips a little bit of light, and he
What's
waves
that?
you in.
Blink asks that in character. What's that?
Oh, we're trying to keep the undead out. This is our undead detector. You just wave it by, and if you're alive, it blinks a light. If it doesn't, you're dead or it broke.
Isn't that an invasion of privacy for the undead?
Blink roots around in his pack for a second, and then he pulls out a dead rat and lifts it up to the amulet.
He waves it by. Nope, gotta kill it now. It does not blink for life.
Medicare, I want a weapon from the town weapons, but
Okay.
I don't have the coins. I have 2 pale blue moonstones.
You can exchange the gems for coins. Just
do it manually.
yeah.
Does the
just
amulet
give you...
think for a minute when it passes over Quint?
Pause. Kind of tiny blip. Unsure. Flickers a little bit. Which weapon you buy in?
The Moon Touch short sword, which I'll put in.
Okay.
If you want to ID it for me, and then I'll.
Oh, is it not ID'd?
Oh yeah, they are. Never mind. So
I was gonna say I ID'd all of them, so none of them in there are non-ID'd, or they shouldn't be.
Cool. I bought it. Nice.
All right, very good.
I took the gold and it did all the stuff it's supposed to do. Excellent.
Shops. All right, so yeah, they once they pass you by with the little detector thingy, they have no trouble letting you in. They do keep an eye on you because not all invaders are undead, but you think it would be extremely foolhardy to try and start a fight inside here.
I don't know. I think the 5 of us can probably take over this place.
All right, you get in and people aren't really paying attention to you. They're busy. There's refugees kind of lining the walls and sitting in little groups. They're being fed. They're being watered. Several of them are lying in little pallets on the ground. Everybody's just kind of
Just make our
Were
way up
we
to
ever
like the
given a point of contact here?
keep proper.
you were given the name Jarrow Whitebeard. That's who Trehill gave you the name of, and he was the commander of the Black Fortress.
So I'll look for priests. If I don't see any clerics or priests, then I'll just ask a guard for if they know where he is.
Yeah. Any of the priests, guards, would know where he is. And they direct you inside the fortress to kind of the central staging area. There's a central courtyard, and then inside the courtyard there is a headquarters, kind of where the commanding officers reside and work. And they say he's in there. He's always in there. There's always stuff going on.
Yeah,
I tried to.
let's head over there, right? Unless you guys have something else you want to do first.
Jaro sounds like the people we need to talk to.
All right. You head on over to the main central area, and the dwarves that are there again, they just kind of largely ignore you. You don't seem like any kind of a threat, and there are a couple of guards who block your way from going into the building, but other than that, they just kind of stand there. What do you want?
We're here to see Jaro Whitebeard.
What's your business with Jaro?
Hmm.
As you can see,
Treheld,
everybody's here to see Jaro.
Treheld Shardspike sent us to speak with him.
Madam Shardspike sent you?
Yes.
He turns over to the other guy. You better get him. She doesn't usually send people, but when she does, he always wants to see. And so the other guy opens the door, goes inside, and leads you in. And there's a little sitting room, and even in here, you can see that there are people being cared for and tended to. Um, and after a short time, you are introduced to an elderly dwarf. He just looks absolutely dead tired. Um, he's got like huge bags under his eyes because he hasn't slept, and lines etched into his face. His hair is just completely gray white. Um, he's sitting over at a table that you're led to, and he has numerous maps laid out and what look like battle strategies being drawn on the maps, and troop positions being marked, and a number of orders. And he while he's looking through those and yelling orders at some of the other dwarven guards and stuff that are there, talking back and forth, after a few minutes he looks up at you and with kind of a soft voice is, so I understand you were sent by Madam Shardspike?
Well, indeed, we were sent even further from. I can't remember the stupid god's name. Damn it.
Rava?
Rava?
Bravo.
Rava sent us on a
We
quest.
came from a rave.
Yeah. Rava sent us on a quest, and it has led us from her to you. We are in search of the holy robes of Sister Adeline.
Holy robes, huh?
Indeed.
For what purpose?
We are tasked in defeating the leader of the Ghoul uprising.
Well, the ghouls certainly have been active lately. More active than in any time in the last 10 years. Something's going on. Don't know what though. Well, Rava, I don't put much stock into. She's one of them southern gods, Zobek, bunch of pansies.
But she is a prophet nonetheless.
And we got lots of gods of our own. Shardspike, however, I respect. So what can I do for you?
We're also interested in knowing the whereabouts of Queen Ursula, but that's another topic. First, we are looking for the Order of the Knights of Sith. We are going
Queen
to be
Ursula, huh? Yeah, a lot of people want to know where she is, where the court in exile is. The Knights of Sith, well, they operate inside Krakova. Can't tell you exactly where. They're under the orders of Queen Ursula. She keeps track of them and issues orders uh, through emissaries in Jost, I believe.
Yes, Jost, it seems a long distance away and through hostile territory, is it not?
Jost is a long way. It's a very difficult journey, at least if you're traveling overland.
There are other ways.
There may be.
Perhaps
There
you
are many
would
ways to travel across these lands. I don't know them all. I have heard things, but
by
I am not
air, by ship.
intimately familiar. Ship would be difficult as there is no water between here and Jost. I suppose if you headed west for a few months, you would hit the open ocean and then you could sail to Jost. You could make it there by foot far quicker.
You
I
seem
was
to know
thinking,
it. Oh yeah, so you seem to know an easier way. Could you help us?
well, I can't give you a direct route, but the fastest way to travel would be along the Fey roads or the Shadow roads.
I have the ability to access these roads, but I don't have destinations known.
I'm not familiar with any openings or on ramps in this nearby region, but perhaps some others you encounter may know.
Here in the keep, the fortress,
Uh, you say you are trying to contact Queen Ursula.
my family is the ambassadors from the Shadow Fae. They were with her when Castle
They would definitely
Harrison
know.
fell. Yes, they do know.
They would definitely know. So, what do you want with them? I understand you came from Rava and you spoke with Madame Shard Spike. Uh, I do not know the location of these Knights of Sif, so what would you like from me? As you can see, I'm an extremely busy man. We have more refugees by the day.
And Blink speaks up and says, "You look tired. May I?" And he kind of steps forward like he's gonna touch him and cast a spell on him if he'll allow it.
He will not.
Okay. All right.
He
He backs off and says, "Yes, I'm. Uh, yeah, just
he
I would
doesn't
like
trust
to
you yet.
I would like to help, but I understand."
That's because I was going to say, may I, and go towards him like he's going to give him a neck rub.
He is not trusting. Yeah, I mean it's obvious. You don't even need an insight check to. He is seems very shrewd, and it will take more to convince him before he gives up anything or
Well,
allows any
Jaro,
kind of spell casting around him.
we have a long journey ahead of us and are in need of equipment and items and knowledge to help us on our journey. But since we are here at the Black Fortress, perhaps first we can help you. Is there anything you need of brave adventuring party like ourselves?
He thinks for a moment. We are overrun with refugees. We have been escorting them down to Grisol and to some of the other cantons as we can. We have been working with Doresh and Krakowian rebels for some time now. Um,
Well, it is not like us to just slay these refugees. What are you getting at?
the patrols that we have do a fine job of protecting nearby. If I understand right, you're already under a holy mandate, even if it is from one of those southern gods. I would suggest that you continue on in your search. Do you have any further information that you can share? Anything that you've learned? Other than the name of a holy reliquary?
Uh, I look through my notes. Uh, we know how to
Perhaps
make
some of the letters we
Melforge.
found.
You gonna share the same letters that you shared with Shard Spike?
Yeah, we can begin with that.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
All right. So you show him the various letters, and he looks through, and very similar to her, he recognizes the name Shroudson that pops out to him immediately, and he has kind of much the same attitude that Madame Trehild had. The one thing that does stand out is the picture that you have, and he takes a look at that and says, "So where'd you get this?"
off some undead in, I forget exactly where it was, south of Grunix, I believe.
It was just before you arrived at Grisol. It's like a day or two before. He takes a look at it and
We think it might have been a hit squad or assassination squad looking for him. We don't know why they would have his picture. They were feasting upon a dwarf. When we
so
came
they're
upon
down
them.
here looking for Ogvgost, huh?
Avgast?
Yeah, Archduke Avgost. Archduke Avgost Walerska of Krakova, brother to the late King Enric. I'll write his name in the chat here. I didn't.
We could just unidentify the picture.
Oh yeah, I could do that. But then I'd have to find it.
It's on my notes tab, if that helps you. I can't tell you the name of it either, so. It's a shame we can't share stuff with the DM. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here it
So
is. I
there.
found it.
It's sketch of Archduke Agvost. He was the brother to the late king. He is one of the Krakovan nobles. And he says, you know, you're not the first to bring this to my attention. Havard Glimmerstone down in Grisol sent me a missive that he came across a band of ghouls that they slaughtered, and one of them also had the picture of the Archduke. What could they be wanting with them?
Does it?
Regardless, we don't know what they want, but he should be warned.
Is he with the queen, perhaps?
Yeah. I have no I have no dwarves to spare. The undead threatens us to the northeast. The refugees flooding. I can spare no dwarves to send a warning to him.
Well, if he is with the queen, we would like to find her anyway. Perhaps we can be the messengers and fulfill both of our needs.
That may work. You must pass a test. I have to trust you. And he stands up and he walks over in the office that he's in, and there's a large iron anvil sitting in the corner of the office. And he takes out his axe and he bangs on the anvil 3 times. 1, 2, 3, big, heavy, booming sounds. And you notice on the top of the anvil, there is the horse head symbol of Voland, the god Voland, one of the dwarven gods. It begins to glow softly. And everybody is going to give me a saving throw.
Oh no. Is this because of the neck rub?
Can I use my inspiration on this, John?
Absolutely.
Ooh, I want to too.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I hate bells.
Ugh.
Just hit advantage before you click the roll. I got a bunch of errors. What's going on?
That was a good one to have advantage on.
Well, it looks like Blink was the only one who made the saving throw. And everyone else failed. As you feel, you see the anvil glow softly, and you feel this wave of an odd sensation just pass through you. And you feel compelled to tell the truth.
Even with my ring of mind shielding?
Yes, all of you who failed are subject to a zone of truth.
Oh no, this is
So-
Last Cause greatest fear. He's going to immediately start drinking all of his booze, trying to pass out unconscious before he can be questioned.
All right. So he begins asking you about your quest, and he's looking for details. And basically, I want everybody to give me a persuasion check in the chat to persuade him that you're on the up and up, that you're legitimate.
Ha
Very good, very
I'm
good.
the most honest drunk bard birdman you'll ever meet.
All right. Is everybody do that? Okay. Well, because you guys were under the zone of truth, and because you guys had talked with Trehild and described what you were doing, the DC on that persuasion check was a 10.
All right.
If you had failed in any of those, then it would be like a 15 or a 20, depending on other circumstances. So all of you managed to convince him that you guys are on the up and up, and he comes to trust you. So he says, all right,
Can our
let me share
kobold touch
something
you
with
now? Do you
He
trust us
says,
enough to have the kobold touch you in the lower extremities? Was this a
here on
new
the map, you can see where we are. Gristle to the south of us, the Black Fortress, and I've got that kind of spell-looking icon over the Black Fortress. And he says, you're actually in luck, because the court in exile and Queen Ursula is not far from here. And he points on the map to Carriesen, which now has the red circle around it. They are currently held up there. And unfortunately, the journey there is difficult. It'll take approximately 8 days, and there are no paved roads, no paths. So you'll be going through wilderness area, uh, untamed wilderness area. But that is uh, the quickest way to get there. Going any further to the northeast will take you very quickly into undead territory. So I suggest heading north, maybe skirting just a little bit to the west, and hitting Carriacin. And that's where you'll find Queen Ursula and the court in exile.
So
They're
these
hiding
white
in House
lines aren't
Caranto.
roads?
The white lines are not roads, no. The dark
Okay.
black thin lines are roads. Drake has passed along the white lines before. They are the Fey Road, the Shadow Road. They go by many different names, and they are kind of mystical paths. They are also in the Midgard campaign setting. They have a thing called ley lines, which are powerful lines of magic that cross the surface. And as you get near them in certain parts where they are concentrated, magic can behave unpredictably, more powerful, more enhanced. The spell casting that you're done is far more powerful.
Is that are the lane lines for the weave or for divine or both?
For everything, for both. The ley lines are a power source of pure magic, and they spread throughout all of Midgard. They're not always easily accessible. They're not all, a lot of times their most powerful locations are in very out of the way, difficult to access areas. But yeah, that's what those are, those little white lines. Now, your characters wouldn't see that. They wouldn't be on the map that he's showing you. But that's the map that Kobold Press has released. It has them all on it. He tells you that they are currently in hiding in the castle of House Caranto in Carriacin. And he will provide you a letter of introduction to the Archduke, who he knows from the good old days, when his troop had minor skirmishes with the Cracovans instead of giving them shelter. They used to be opposites in the war.
Is it Archduke Agavost?
Yes, Archduke Avgost. So that's what he describes. He says you can, replenish your stores, your food and drink, but there's we don't have much in the way of spare equipment. We're a fortress. There's really not much in the way of stores either. They're providing for the refugees and sending out patrols. That's really all they do here. Can I be of any further assistance?
I think with this letter, you've assisted us greatly.
You'll do the Archduke a great favor as well if you warn him of what's coming.
I'm excited to see if my family survived the attack on the castle.
I wish you the best of luck.
Are you
Not
sure
many did.
Are you sure I
But
can't help you out?
I suppose. What would you like to do? Keep that monkey poop off me.
Oh yeah, he kind of wipes his hand off on his shirt as best he can, but it's still filthy. He just needs to step forward and touch him and cast a quick spell. And he's gonna cast Tireless on him.
Ah, okay.
There, I dropped it in the chat there. He says you look very tired. That should help.
Yes, that does. That does. It's like 10 shots of coffee all at once. It is greatly appreciated. How long will this last? I can get a lot done.
A full day.
A full day.
Yes, 24
And
hours.
am I going to fall asleep for 24 hours after that?
No, there should be no side effects. Just 24 hours of not needing to sleep and having energy as if you were one of the clockwork devices from Zobek.
As he's talking, I'm going to walk up, scratching my neck. Got any of that kobold meth, man? I'm Johnson.
Did you say the clockwork from Zobek? Those were dwarven inventions. It's just those weirdo dwarves that took them down to Zobek. All glory to the Cantons.
Oh yes, I learned a lot from the dwarves in Zobek.
He chuckles. They're an odd bunch down there. But I guess they mean well. All right. So is there anything you guys want to do here at the Black Fortress? Otherwise, he dismisses you to get back to work now that he can work straight through the night.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I need anything.
All right. So you guys get heading out, and the journey to Carriessen is a small Dornitian city. It lies about 100 miles or so north of the Black Fortress, if you take a direct line. It's going to take you about 8 days of travel to get there, because the foothills of the Iron Crags are going to greatly slow down your travel time before you end up near the open plains that are near the city. And so it's going to take you several days of travel, rough travel over wilderness areas. So we got a bunch of random encounters over that time that have already been rolled up. So the first day you guys go ahead and travel, and you actually have a pretty safe day. It goes by. The number of patrols you see as you get further and further away obviously reduced significantly. With the last one you saw, around 1ish in the afternoon, and then after that, you really get the feeling that you're entering into kind of the wilderness. Um, and the first day goes on and goes into night. As you are sleeping on this first evening, partway through the night, you're woken up abruptly by this extraordinarily large roar, some coming from somewhere overhead, and it then dissipates, and you don't hear it again. The next day, as you're traveling along, you've all had a chance to rest, if a bit unsettled. You're traveling through, and on multiple occasions throughout the day, as you're traveling along, you find bodies of animals, like a small herd of deer where all of them are dead. There'll be 5 or 6 deer kind of lumped, piled up on top of one another, and they have large bite marks out of parts of their body. But at the same time, a bunch of their fur is singed and burnt. Um, and it's this strange combination of bite marks, like different sized mouths. Some are really small, some are really, really big. You can tell from kind of the teeth markings that you saw there.
Could we do we know what kind of animal could have made this? Could we do like a nature check?
Yeah, give me a nature check. All right. Blink, you take a look at it, and you're not sure, but one of them looks kind of like a large cat, like a lion took a bite. You can see parts where the meat was torn out, and there's these very large, uh, fang type markings that are, a good inch around or more, size teeth that bit into this thing.
All right. Blink, I would assume, noticed this as he's like harvesting some of the meat from these animals very quickly, and tells the rest of the party, "Oh, it looks like there was a big cat that attacked these things."
Yes, most of the bites do kind of look like a big cat, but there are some that, instead of having this one big cat-like bite, have rows of smaller razor sharp teeth marks in the flesh. So you pass through the rest of the day, and not really sure what this might be, but you pass through the rest of the day and into the night. And the night is relatively bright. There's a bright moon out, and I am going to pull up a map and share a map with you because we're going to have an encounter.
So the unnamed for the last 3 nights has been pretty much anytime we take a break. I've been drawing in my sketchbook at night. I'll draw for a while. I'm just replicating the forms and the maneuvers, sort of like a dance where the feet, put the little feet, move the feet to here, to this position. Everything while it's still fresh in his memory. And then as we're walking along the road, every once in a while, I'll practice and do some of those moves. Even though I don't have the blade yet, I'm just trying to get it this muscle memory, because that's how he learned with the hook, was just doing it over and over, getting it muscle memory.
Okay. Now I've shared a map and dropped you guys on it. This is a cliff edge that's a good 20 to 30 feet. Most of it is going to be about 30 feet. There's a few areas that are closer down to about 20 feet. Do you guys want to be, and let me unlock the tokens. Do you guys want to be on top of the cliff or on the bottom of the cliff when you camp?
We can see that, John.
Can see what?
There's a
You're-
monster there.
What?
Yeah.
Why are you seeing that?
Sorry.
Wait, we're closing our eyes. Because
All
of
right,
the
it's
hidden,
gone.
because of the hidden button on your new play toy that we
Yeah,
haven't
I
figured
forgot
out
to
yet.
hide the.
So we want to be. I don't know. This looks like a secure spot to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable place.
Okay, down at the bottom.
Have a little campfire.
I'm just guessing because I still just see blackness.
Oh, it hasn't loaded for you. Look at him. He's already got.
Got 2 little tents for the halfling and kobold, and 3 larger tents for the others.
I want the green one.
This is intense.
No, I'm sorry. You're kicked out of
Maybe
the party.
maybe next time we play we'll have lighting. And
I attacked the
Yeah.
unnamed.
I
Robin
did
gave
the
me
best I could.
Robin
That's
bought me
good.
disadvantage, so for my puns on in chat. So
Well deserving.
All right, so as you guys are camping out there, this is in the middle of the night, so this would be during Tarian's watch, I believe it is. And Gorgio bought the disadvantage. Awesome. Thank you, Gorgio. Um,
okay. Well, she threatened to.
and well, Tyrion, give me a perception check. You do not have dark vision.
Ooh, got good hearing though.
Yeah. All right. So as you are there, sitting around the campfire, kind of keeping watch, you hear the flapping of wings. And it sounds like this something really, really large, wings flapping and getting closer and closer.
All right, I'm gonna alert the party.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get out of my tent, and I'm just gonna try to look around and probably
Wait,
like just take the dodge action.
just
I'm
to
gonna
be
hide in the
clear,
shrub.
you were in your tent on your watch. How does that work?
Yeah, I was taking care of personal
Phoning it
business.
in.
I was watching.
So watching the back of my eyelids.
Let it be a dragon, please. Remedy says.
All right, Quint. Tyrion wakes you up. He wakes you up.
Tyrion was masturbating to my shield.
Yeah, so Quint's gonna crawl out of his and stand up and look around. And he's gonna pick up his bow as he hears this flapping sound. I'm pretty sure. And
What's your dark vision range?
60.
Okay.
So, probably just to the edge of the cliff line.
Yeah. Well, from the bottom, you can't see up on top of the cliff. Right,
I
you
can
can't
hear
see.
the flapping though coming from whatever
Yes,
direction.
you
Right?
can hear flapping.
So I will ready my bow. I'm gonna move out of the fire though. I want to be in darkness. So let's see.
Okay.
I'm gonna start to anyways. So I want to move 15 this way. I think the tokens aren't locked.
They are not. Now they are.
So I move 15 that way, trying to move out of the fire source, getting into the darkness, and then I'll ready my bow.
Okay.
If this thing looks hostile and it looks like it's going to engage somebody, I'm going to shoot at it with my bow. And I'll put the ready on myself. Where's my effects?
All right. So out of the darkness. Come on. This sound of flapping. And as it gets to about here, last call and Blink, you guys are still inside your tent. A blast of fire comes from outside and cooks you guys while you guys are inside your tents.
So as he's taking a breath, I get to shoot at him.
Yes, you get to take a shot at him.
Why is there two? I don't get it. I missed.
All right, you take a shot and it just pings off its chest. You can see Quint from where you are. This is a very odd-looking creature. It has 3 heads. One of its heads is that of a lion. One of its heads looks like a dragon, and the third looks like a giant goat. And then it has the body of a lion. As this chimera breathes on the two of you, your arrow just kind of hits the dragon head and bounces right off the scales and falls to the ground.
For
As
some
this thing
reason, you got
swoops down,
the Chimera and then a movement drug on the map. I don't know. Is it just me or is everyone seeing that?
that's just you.
Right
No,
there.
there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see one right here.
It's not on my map.
Maybe
Try closing and reopening.
all of us.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope,
It's
still
there.
there.
Maybe clear its movement. Maybe.
Doesn't have any movement. So
Oh,
That
That
There
did
it
it.
goes.
That fixed it. Just
Okay.
moving it. Yeah.
weird. All right. So fire breath on the 2 of you in your tents. Blink fails while Last Cause survives or makes his saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
As
What's that
Blink is
smell?
roasted.
I'm down, guys.
As this thing continues flying off in that direction.
I'm going to spend the entirety of my turn screaming and trying to put my flames out.
Yeah, your tent is completely roasted at this point. There's no roof left to your tent.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That was a rude awakening, so I'm gonna try to run to the cliff wall and hide, like press myself against it.
Okay.
Take the hide action.
I guess there's not much else to do for me since I'm still unconscious.
It smells like
Yeah.
burning poop around here. I don't understand.
As far as I look out, step out of my tent. I don't remember having 2 fires. Why do we need 2? Oh,
Why is the cobalt on fire?
I'll move over and try to find a spot that's not burning and touch him and give him a little bit of Cure Light Wounds love.
Okay.
Thank you.
And is he? Does he have the burning condition? Is he actually on fire?
No, he's not on fire. He is singed. He smells kind of like cooked lizard, but
Come, my friend. There is this 3-headed beast. We need you. We need your help. And then I'm going to move 15 more feet. Actually, I'm going to move 20 more feet.
Okay, I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself as a bonus action. Slightly less bloody. And then I am going to take the dodge action, I guess.
All right. I will stand up and use my action to summon the cannon. Right there. And give out some temporary hit points, especially to myself.
I'm using Chatty, so I can't see what those rewards were that were redeemed for the Manticore.
Two
Uh,
two disadvantages for the Chimera.
2 disadvantages.
Advantages.
There's
Oh,
a-
Robin.
advantages.
Yeah, one from
Right, I'm sorry,
remedies and one
advantages,
from
yes.
Engorgio.
All right, a
All
little
right.
bit of temporary hit points probably won't keep me alive if I get hit, but maybe some of the rest of you. That's it.
Well, Quint's gonna. Oh, I should have been looking to see what I was gonna do in my turn, not everybody else. Where's the actions tab? He's gonna shoot his bow. I can see the thing still? Yeah.
Yeah. It's up, kind of standing on the top of the edge of the cliff there.
So yeah, he's gonna try to do a trick shot. Actually, is it kind of close to the cliff edge, or how high up above the cliff is it? 15 foot?
Well, no, it's standing on the cliff.
Oh, is
It
it?
was 15 above you when it was flying, but
Oh,
it's
so it's
standing on the edge of the cliff there,
So I'm gonna try to do a pinning shot on it.
perched. Okay.
So let me roll the hit first, because if I don't hit, it doesn't really matter, does it? Longbow on that thing, twang! Oh, it was almost a crit. Oh, I hit it though. So
Must make a strength saving throw.
So I guess I still roll damage, I would assume.
No. The pinning shot, it does no damage. It instead it attempts to pin part of the clothing of the target and
So
reduce its speed to 0.
So I'm like it's wing or something, like to the rock.
Right. So, do you have the strength saving throw to push?
Do I? No. Maybe I do.
Coded?
Hold on. It might be. Where'd it go? Pinning shot. I do.
And he
nice.
fails. So you step back and you shoot with your bow, and it flies right by the chimera and comes down right on his tail, and its tail is now pinned into the rock there, right at the edge of the cliff, as it's trying to yank its tail out.
And Quint is going to continue his move back here into the darkness.
Okay. All right. And how far is last call? Okay. So the chimera does not like this arrow pinning it. So can you give him the strength saving throw again, please? And he is in such pain that he can't quite pull it out, and he's yanking on it and yanking on it. But that arrow seems to have been embedded pretty darn good into the rock there. It must have caught just right, as his speed was reduced to 0 and his breath weapon did not recharge.
Yes, he's yanking. He's yanking on himself.
All right, so I'm going to reach into my pouch, pull out a scroll, and start. Oh, it's touch. Never mind. I have to touch the thing. I'm going to read the scroll, realize it's touch, and put it back. And I'm going to do a run by, drive by healing. I'm going to heal Blink as I move by him.
All right. You walk by and slap him in the backside of the head. Here you go.
All right. I'm gonna kind of stupidly move closer to this guy. And I don't need any trouble getting angry this time. I mean, he lit my friends on fire, and I don't think that's cool. So I'm gonna
And cooked kobold smells really bad.
yeah,
That
I
pissed
didn't like
anybody
that.
off.
Oh yeah, just the stink. Oh, so I'm gonna get angry, and I'm gonna throw a javelin at him.
Hey, Marbania, thanks for the raid. Raided with 3 viewers. What's up, guys?
All right, you chuck this javelin up at him, and he just kind of moves to the side a little bit. He can't get very far because his tail's still pinned to the ground. But the old Drake said you need to level up.
Yeah, level
Eventually.
up, level up. So, Quint's gonna take another shot with his arrow. This time he's gonna try to do a trick shot. So I have to fire at a disadvantage. And let's see if I can get this
Marbania
guy.
gave you something.
Oh, I hit. Uh, oh shit, he gave me disadvantage. Thanks.
So you have double disadvantage?
Yeah, double
Well,
disadvantage.
even with disadvantage, you shoot this thing right in the wing.
Uh, so I'm gonna click the critical button as I critical hit him. Whoa. That wasn't what showed up on the dice when I rolled him. What the hell?
No, because I have
Oh,
the
that's right.
critical extension.
Nice.
I don't use the tables like you do, but crits hurt.
Yeah. So I do 17 points of damage to him, and I'm gonna continue to try to get uh, some distance on him. Is he kind of in the light a little bit there?
Well, the whole area is kind of bathed in dim light. It's a very full moon out tonight, so the whole area is dim light. Only like within 15 feet of the campfire is bright light, but everything else is dim light.
So I wanna start moving this direction.
That's a cliff,
Yeah, I'll
so you
fly
can
up that.
fly up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know,
Okay.
15 feet away seem logical.
Oh yeah, you can easily get there with your
Okay.
flight.
And then if I'm in some kind of darkness, I'll use a bonus action to try to hide. You know, to be
This is
stealthy.
it's all dark.
Good. So I'm trying to be
I
stealthy.
mean, it's not pitch black dark, but it's
I want to try to
all
get
right. Can you give
advantage
him
on my
his
next shot.
strength check again?
Yeah, hold on. Let me scroll down there. Come on,
Actually,
it worked
I'm going to
well the
use one of
first
those
2 times.
advantages.
Oh shit.
Give it one more time,
Uh,
because he should have had advantage on that.
No.
As he still fails.
That's a nice arrow stuck in his tail.
He's sitting there. He's turning around. He's scratching at the ground, trying to haul this thing out, trying to bite at it with his little dragon head.
I still got another one to use too. Advantage.
That's all he can do.
All right, so this time I'm going to call upon Sif. Since chat isn't getting the hint and they're not helping Blink, I'll go by and I'll use my Paladin lay on hands. I just don't want to have us grouped together. I know this thing breathes, and I'm going to heal him again.
Thank you, sir. All right. Blink. Blink's gonna try to light this thing up with some fairy fire. So yeah, let's see if it can save. Is it gonna have advantage, John?
Yes. So I will push. I will go ahead and apply that. So go ahead and do the save.
All right.
It still failed.
And he fails, even with advantage. His thing's failing on everything.
All right. So Blink throws basically like throws a jar of something at this this beast, and it smashes on it and starts to glow as soon as it comes in contact with the air. Whatever was inside of it, some sort of odd kobold concoction that you guys aren't sure what it is, and it smells terrible too, by the way.
It was firefly piss. I know it.
And then the cannon is going to give out some temporary hit points to the people close to him.
I gotta get close to my buddy again. He's so far away.
Yeah, that didn't help a ton, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to try to get close to my friend. And on the way, I'm going to shoot this guy with Eldritch Blast.
All right, that's a hit, but he makes his saving throw.
2 points of damage. All right.
2 points. Getting him nice and drunk.
A little healing word, love.
Just a touch.
John, you said he's like 15 feet up this cliff. Is that?
He's higher than 15 feet. He's like
okay.
30 feet.
Okay, so he's quite a way up. I guess I will just try to shoot another javelin at him.
All
And
right.
because he's glowing nicely against the backdrop, he's very easy to target. As you slam a javelin into him. Very good.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to get a sling or something.
A javelin? Anything? A rock? Throw a rock.
That's what the shuriken are for, right? It's just a little long distance for a shuriken.
All right, so I'm going to move here and do a little blast action. I may not be able to hit it in the air, but they can.
Well, Quint is going to try to take advantage of this glowiness, and he's going to try another trick shot on this thing. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just going to try a regular shot, which I should have advantage on.
You do.
Nice, which procs my sneak attack. Doing 20 points of damage. And I'm going to kind of continue to move into the darkness. Trying to stay... I don't know if this thing's got dark vision or not, but I'm going to try to stay away from it.
Okay. Shoot your arrow and it nails it right in the goat jaw. So goat has a little arrow sticking out of the bottom of his jaw.
Yeah, and I'm trying to stay stealthy and hidden back there as best I can.
Meh.
All right. Let's do some temporary hit points to those close to me.
Ooh,
Oh, there we
maximum.
go. Top them off. And then I will shoot a clockwork bolt at this thing, and I want to use one of the pieces of magic ammunition that I got.
Okay. And that is a critical hit.
Nice. Yeah.
You dropped a 19.
Ooh, it's your personal best hit. 14
Oh
points.
yeah, I don't have a lot of damage over here, so little bit of damage. But then yeah, if the bolt sticks in him, and if he doesn't use his action to remove it, it's going to do some extra damage on his turn.
All right.
All right. I'm starting to run out of javelins, but I'm gonna throw a javelin at him because that's what I got.
That's a hit.
A little bit of damage, and I'm gonna move away a little bit. I kind of hide behind this cliff.
Okay. Now he's got a javelin sticking out of his lion head. He's got an arrow sticking out of his goat jaw.
And one pinning him to the wall.
And one through his tails. Beer all over his dragon head face.
Whoa, lots of dice.
Another beer for you.
And he fails his saving throw this time. As he is poisoned because he drank too much. He cut that one straight in the mouth. Like all 3 mouths just got massively filled with ale.
Nice skunky IPA for him. And I'm just going to stay close to the cannon, but try to hide behind the tank.
It's a spoiled Heineken.
All right. You want to push him his saving throw again?
All right.
Oh,
No,
no.
me.
Quint.
Me.
And he is teleported by
crap.
Marbanya.
Who is?
The Chimera.
The Chimera.
Is teleported randomly.
All right.
The spike goes with him, though, right?
No, he just made
It does not.
He just succeeded anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this thing moves. I created a little random thing to generate for the teleports. So it's 8 squares towards 5 o'clock. That would be 40 feet. So it teleports roughly there.
Up in the air?
Oh,
I
no,
don't
Terry.
like that.
Yeah, it is up in the air. However, it is going to fly down since it's no longer pinned. And it's going to fly down right to where it's at. Take a look at Tarian, and you see its dragon head whip around as its maw opens, and you see flames flickering as he breathes on you.
Since he's poisoned, he has disadvantage on it? Is that what that was?
I believe
No.
so, yeah. So he has disadvantage.
Oh no, Tarian had advantage. Maybe
It's,
because she's raging?
Right. Barbarian danger sense.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
She's-
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's still half damage,
Wow.
which is reduced entirely.
Nice, because he's resisting and
10
tank.
and 3. Oh,
And seeing that this little halfling is completely untouched,
I like little like mocking. "Grah!"
rawr!
the chimera begins flying away. He gets to there at the end of his turn.
All right. Does the clockwork bolt teleport with him?
Yes, that was
All right.
embedded in him.
So at the end of his turn, he takes some damage from that.
He's critical.
All right.
And Quint is going to.
You hear this roar of pain as this thing explodes and slices into him.
And Quint is going to come flying towards the party, kind of angling down a little bit, and taking a shot with this glowing thing off in the distance with his longbow. Twang! And hits it in the ass
That's
cheek.
a hit.
It did not proc my sneak attack. So let me grab
You were
that
at
real
long
quick.
range,
No,
so you had advantage and disadvantage.
I'm not at long range with a longbow.
I hadn't clicked the accept move before you shot, so from there you were
Oh, but
from
I'm
your
not.
original
So I'll
location.
just drop sneak attack on myself real quick.
Yep.
Click that, and then I'll roll damage. Scroll back up. Longbow twang.
As you do 15 more, as he's now got an arrow embedded in his ass.
Oh, and I'll use my bonus action to dash. Closer.
Okay.
Okay.
Coming
See.
down towards the ground too. So if I could land,
Okay.
that would be cool. Like behind
Yeah, you
the
can.
last call. Poof.
All right, yeah, I can still hit him with the beer spell if I run all 30 feet up. Be just in range.
Ooh!
As you hit it with a
Crit.
critical hit, doing
Nice.
max damage as your Eldritch Blast
It was
right
all
from the
me. You
very
guys barely
edge.
did shit.
As the manticore or the chimera falls out of the sky, it was about 30 feet up trying to escape, and it flies down and just smashes into the ground. These huge old crashes, it goes tumbling. And you see its wing break and the leg break, and the necks are flopping around as this thing falls to the ground dead. Congratulations.
Blink, you have to harvest this. We need a natural turducken. I've never seen this animal before. I want a mini meat sandwich made out of one animal.
We're gonna drag this thing back into the campfire and examine it.
Oh
Figure
yeah.
out what's going on, and
Blink is like all excited to like hack this thing to bits.
we just don't
All
want to
right.
take more than an hour to disrupt our long rest. That's all.
That's
I'm
me
gonna-
trying to convince Quint that the testicles are a delicacy.
Which testicles? The goat, the lion, or the dragon?
Yes.
Let's get 6 pair.
Wait, does it have? Never mind.
Are you trying to milk it before it's dead?
Well, no, I just wondered what else it has 3 of.
While the rest of them are being weird, I'm just gonna go collect my javelins and go back to and go back to my tent, go to sleep.
A bunch of
All
guy
right.
crap.
So if you want to harvest it, go ahead and give me a nature ability check.
All right.
I'm going to give you
We have a
bardic
moment of
inspiration.
silence for Blink's tent.
And it will take you a full 2 hours to harvest.
Yeah, Blink doesn't care. He's too excited.
He's gonna sleep in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Super excited.
You don't have to carry it
26.
around anymore.
He's organized its organs by weight and flavor.
What's he doing
All
up?
right.
Mom must be out of town.
No, Mom's home. He's on spring break, so he's got nothing. He's being lazy. All right, so you sit there and you start harvesting this thing, and you find a number of very interesting little components. There's the claws, which are pretty good. You're cutting through its throat of the dragon, and you find a little gland in there. You believe that's what produces fire for this thing. I'm just going to go ahead and add everything to the party inventory. And you guys can take a look at the various items you were able to harvest from this chimera.
Catching up to tearing the barbarian with my damage right behind you. I'm only 10 points behind you.
You didn't do so much this last one.
Do you still have the price tag on his kit that he's using there?
Yeah, I'm hoping to, after we get back, I'm going to return it, see if I can get my money back.
All right. And we are 7 minutes over, so we're going to go ahead and end it here tonight.
All right. Well, that was Empire of the Ghouls session 13 in the bag. So next tomorrow I'll be over on Rob's stream with Matakiri and Sven, and I'll be running Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maidens. So if you guys want to catch me over on Rob's stream, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, right there on his stream. Sunday, we'll be doing All Things Fantasy Grounds. Again, I'll be co-hosting with Rob. That's on his channel, again at 9 p.m. on Sunday, right there on his Twitch channel. And then Tuesday, right here, we're going to be doing at 8 p.m. Princes of the Apocalypse. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Friday, I'll be running Jungles of Cholt. Right here at 8 p.m. So that's the lineup. If you're not a follower, please click the follow button and give us a follow. And if you would like, I would love for you to help me get to 100 subscribers on my YouTube link right there in the chat. I want to get rid of that UCMGW648TGA porn 7 hours 47J1W. Yep, I want to get rid of that. And that's it, guys. So is there anybody we need to go raid? Let's go raid Rob in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So we're gonna go hit up Rob raiding real quick. So stick around, chat for just a minute, and we're gonna go hit his
Appreciate your hard work, John. Thanks.
channel up.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
But we'll catch you guys in the flip side. Talk to you later, guys. Stick around, chat. We'll be right over to Rob's.